Hello everybody, welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Nicholas Strait and we're going to be talking about Tropical Storm Erin out here in the Atlantic. This is the current satellite imagery of Erin. You can see a lot of convective bursts down on the southern side of the storm, and it looks like it's still going to be moving kind of to the west here in this latest satellite imagery. This is the latest cone from the National Hurricane Center as of the 5 p.m. advisory, and you can see that it's still going west, but it is projected to take that turn to the northwest. But from the latest trend I'm seeing, it could lag a little bit to the southern side of this cone and potentially get close to impacting the coastline over here in the mid-Atlantic. And we're going to go over all that here today. Um, so I'm so this is the cone right here, but I'm seeing that maybe it could come a little bit close to the southern side and then maybe make a turn like that is what I'm seeing off of one of the models here today. And there's two different types of ways or two different trends that we're going to be looking at here. So first things first, we're going to look at the deterministic model runs. And this is from the 12Z of the European model. And as we go, whoa, why is this? There we go. Sorry, it was not loaded right. There we go. Whoops, that was not supposed to happen. Sorry about that. All right, here we go. So as we take this into tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., we'll bring this out. So according to the latest Euro, as we go through for 7 a.m. on August the 15th, which is this Friday, you can see that we do have kind of a weaker low pressure system over here just to the east, just kind of to the east northeast of the Lesser Antilles over here. And you can see as we go kind of starting on Friday, you can see how it kind of takes a northward turn. You see that how it kind of takes a northward turn on Friday and throughout the morning. But as we go into the evening hours into this weekend, you can see how it kind of wobbles a little bit and kind of favors a more southern track. And you can see that here. You can see that potentially for the Lesser Antilles, the British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, over here, that you can get some of this banding right here from Ian that could give you guys some potential rainfall and some gusty winds as we go through for your Saturday and Sunday. And then as this continues to strengthen, again, just goes more towards the west and kind of northwest, and you can see it gets pretty close to the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, but it does stay far enough away on this model run that it indicates that there is no impacts to there. And then if you keep this going, you can see on the latest run how it wants to drive straight into the coast, but at the last second here, as I'll switch regions here and show you, as it goes into the northern Atlantic, you can see that this high pressure, the reason why it's going more to the west on this one run is you got this high pressure that's pushing the system this way. And then you have this trough over here that's going to be coming this way. And it's going to try and pull, this high pressure is trying to pull it into the coast over here. And this trough is eventually going to move where this high pressure is. And the system's going to kind of go like that. And this is what I'm about to show you right here. And you can see this is not an official forecast. This is just a model run. But you can see how as we go through 7 a.m. on the 21st, that this is really impacting right here on this frame specifically at 7 a.m. on the 21st of August. This is going to try to be impacting the Virginia and North Carolina coastlines as a potential major hurricane. As again, you can see up here our low pressure trough right here. Let me draw that a little bit better. So we have kind of our trough right here. You got the high pressure out here, and you can see how kind of the trough grabs this system, and instead of yanking it directly to the west, it's going to kind of lag it to where it's going to go on a track like that. So we'll keep this going. This is going into, and then by the 21st, this trough grabs it and it swings it far enough away to where the coast, the northeast, wouldn't have much impacts from the system as this goes out. And it looks like Nova Scotia will maybe have some banding from this, and Bermuda on this model run will be missed as well. And that's the latest from the Euro model run. So now we're going to go to the GFS model run. And this is what I was talking about. The 18Z is actually running right now. So this is kind of what the 18Z shows. It shows kind of more of a, it starts going to the north a little bit, but we won't be able to look at that. We're going to go back to the 12Z GFS run. But you can see the Euro takes it further to the west, but the GFS takes it further to the north and more compact, so you don't get much impacts at all anymore from the Lesser Antilles, the Windward Islands, Puerto Rico, the British Virgin Islands as well. But it takes it far northern and a lot stronger and takes it out and potentially could hit Bermuda and then misses the Nova Scotia area up there in Canada. But you could see the storm easily takes it out to sea, and it would potentially, if this model run were to show true, would potentially hit Bermuda sometime by 1 p.m. on the 20th of August. So that's the latest from the GFS model run. And let's see, let's look at the Euro AI. So this is the 12Z model run from the Euro AI. And you can see how it does initiate this here at 7 p.m. today. And you can see as we go through the next 24 hours, it takes out on a more northern track, and then it kind of goes west, and it kind of just lags back and forth. And you can see here that on this run with the European AI, how this is a much more southern of a run with the system and potentially could impact Puerto Rico, the Lesser Antilles, the British Virgin Islands over here, because it's a lot more southern and a lot more closer to the west. But then as it passes by Puerto Rico, right around the 17th of August, it takes a more northern track, and you could see this here with the Euro AI, that we got a huge high pressure that's expanding all the way out here, pushing the system to the west. And we kind of got our trough up here that's trying to grab the system down here. And on the latest run with the Euro AI, it takes it up and grazes the coast and doesn't impact anybody. And you can see how close this is to the North Carolina, Virginia coastline. Not as close as the Euro, but definitely could maybe get a little bit of wind and a little bit of rain from this system as well. And you can see we have some tropical action, some waves over here behind Erin that are a little too far to be sure to talk about. But you can see on this run, the Euro AI does develop potentially another system that could get grabbed by another trough and pulled to the north and potentially hit maybe close to Maine, but that's again way too far to tell. I believe yesterday this was showing it hitting Florida, so we can't take this for sure. It can't be a for sure forecast. But it does take Erin by the Lesser Antilles a little further southern and a little bit further to the west and a little closer to that North Carolina Virginia coastline as we go into next week. Let's see. So now we're going to look at the Canadian model and the ICOM model. So the latest Canadian model, this is the, let me make sure, this is the 12Z from the Canadian. And you can see that it takes it, again, right around Friday morning, or not tomorrow, sorry, right around Friday morning, it takes it a little bit further to the north, and then it kind of curves to the west a little bit. You see that right there? Those few frames where it's just going due west. But it does take it north of Puerto Rico and the Lesser Antilles and the Windward Islands to the point where it won't give any impacts to any of you guys on this model run. As we take this forward in time, it, by as we go into the 18th of August, which is this coming up Monday, you can see how it sharply curves this out to sea, and not a problem for anybody except Bermuda, which would get impacted by this if this were to run. So we have two different trends. The Euro and the Euro AI trend a little bit. The Euro and Euro AI trend a little bit further towards the coast out here. The GFS and the Canadian do show a little bit more out here towards Bermuda. So it's kind of a lot more of it's kind of a 50-50 with the models today, where some models take it further west and other models like the Canadian here does take it a little bit further out to sea and potentially impacting Bermuda and nobody else. Last model we're going to look at, the Icon model. This is the 18Z from the Icon, and you can see how it does as we go through. Oh, you can't see the time. There we go. As we go through into tomorrow afternoon, it starts taking that northward turn a little bit as we go through Friday. And then as it goes to the north, you can see how in these few frames it goes to the west. And you can see again the Icon, which is agreeing with the Euro and the Canadian here, that's more southern and could impact more of Puerto Rico, the British Virgin Islands, and of course the Lesser Antilles as well. So as we go into Saturday, into the end of this week, the start of next week, according to the latest run of the Icon, it takes it really close. This is the latest run. This is as far as it goes out, 5 days. And you can see here that it takes it a lot closer to Turks and Caicos, where you can get some impacts there. And it takes a lot more of this westward track than supposedly just out to sea. So what we're seeing today is a lot more of a potential area we need to watch out for over here for the Northeast, as well as the Mid-Atlantic, and of course Florida as well, because this could go in multiple directions here. This could easily kind of go this way, and then this could easily kind of go this way, or it could go potentially this way or this way. We don't really know where this system is quite going to go yet. It's still too early to tell. But we do know by the time we get into Saturday at the start of next week, we're going to know whether it takes the southern track or the northern track. And you can see even with the latest run of the Icon, it takes it even potentially closer here towards the Dominican Republic and Haiti as we go through for Sunday into Monday, and then into Turks and Caicos. So this is the ensemble members. This is the latest with the ensembles, and you can see this side is the GFS. It's a little bit kind of more scrolled down so you can see better, but this side over here is the Euro. So the Euro, you can see with the GFS that more than likely it will go out to sea, but you can see that we do have a little bit more of those Western members. But again, most of them take it out to sea. But look at the Euro right here. This is the European model, or the ensembles. Look at the swath here that show a Western scenario. Even a couple of them show a landfall over here towards the North Carolina coastline, and a lot of the models here, or a lot of the tracks showing that it will be potentially grazing the coast there, but still showing that it will curve out to sea. So you can see here where it's pretty high confidence within the next 48 hours. See, this is 20. This is 24, 48, and then it gets more widespread after a couple of days. So as we go into this weekend, it's going to be a big question: does it take the northern side or the slower, more western side, which could potentially bring a U.S. landfall? The next thing I want to look at here is the Google Weather Lab, and this is their experimental model. And you can see that, again, this is also not a forecast, I want to reiterate. But you can see here that a lot of the members on this is the latest run here. A lot of members don't take it that kind of agree with the GFS where it'll go up and curve out to C. They don't take that where it'll go and kind of lag over here and then turn, or maybe even turn later. It doesn't show. It's their experimental model. Sorry, is agreeing with the GFS, the Canadian, where it'll go out to sea and not in only one member. You know, there's not even any members that bring it close to the coast. So it all brings it out to sea and maybe up there near St. John's and as well, but maybe it's a little bit too far to be for sure there too. This is the Weather Next Generation model, and you can see here that a little bit more of the modeling on this one does show a little bit more of a western track, and you can see a couple of members out here do bring it a little bit farther to the west, and even one shows potential landfall as well. But still, most of the members show this is going to curve, go out to sea, potentially be a problem for Bermuda, and that'll be it. But you can see that, again, in the short term, what we're seeing is that instead of going like this, it could go something like where it goes on that northern track, but then it goes west instead of going just straight north. It's kind of the two tracks that, oh, those are bad arrows. Let me redo that. So it's either going to go kind of in this direction, or it's going to kind of go in this direction. So that's kind of what we have to wait and see for the next 48 to 72 hours. Does it stay northern and go on the northern track, or does that high pressure expand and it goes a little bit further towards the west and then potentially turn to the north? So that's what we kind of are watching out for today. The Weather Next graph, I believe, is just a model run. Yeah. So again, this is the Euro Ensembles, just so you can see that again a little bit closer up and a little bit better. So this is the latest on the European Ensemble members, and all these little dots right here are for another system. That system that's in the Gulf right now, or not in the Gulf, that was potentially in the Gulf, that was bringing rain over here. It's gonna kind of go up and around and out over here. So we gotta watch out for that. But still, you can see that a lot more members are pushing further to the west, and a couple members show a landfall, and then other members, like this group right here, show that it might graze the coast and bring minimal impact, but still be too close to call here for the North Carolina and Virginia coastlines. So that's that. I believe that's all I got for you guys today. So again, I'm just gonna refresh. I'm pretty more than likely won't have the latest update, but this is the current cone from the National Hurricane Center, and this is for Friday. So right here at this point, right at on Friday, is gonna kind of be the day. As we go into this weekend, that's gonna be the pivot point. Where is it going on this northern track, like we see? Or is it going to go to the north, but instead of keep going, it's going to get kind of pushed further to the west and then maybe make a turn? And not like that. That's not what I meant to do. Or maybe make a turn like this. So, a lot to look at in the next couple days here as well. So as we look, I'm going to show you guys this really quick. I want to talk about this too as well really quickly. This system over here in the Gulf. This is not going to do anything. If it does develop anything, which I highly doubt, it'll be like super, super last second. And it'll just bring a little bit of rain over here potentially, but not like 5, 12 inches, maybe just like a couple inches, maybe. So not a lot to worry about there. So really quickly, this is the wind speed probabilities. This is for tropical storm force winds, and this is for the latest from the National Hurricane Center. And you can see that over here near the Virgin Islands, the Leeward Islands, Puerto Rico as well, that you do have um, that 30 to 40% chance of tropical storm force winds as we go through the uh, next few days here. And this is the probability for hurricane force winds. And of course, it's a lower chance, obviously, but you can see for the British Virgin Islands, potentially the Leeward Islands here, you do got that 5 to 10% chance. So, not very likely at all, but that's still a chance that we have to look out for as we go through the next few days. But that's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Um, I do want to update you really quickly at the end of this video about my schedule. So, my schedule is for the rest of this week. I'm going to upload a video every single day, probably roughly around this time. And this Saturday night, I don't know when yet, but sometime this Saturday night, we are going to go live. And by then, we'll know whether we'll have a better idea of if it's on the northern track, more of that northern track, or more of the westward than northern track. So I will keep you guys updated. I am going to post in my community tab my schedule, and later on today when we get the next cone update, I will give you guys an update on that as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great time, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video.